So welcome everyone, this is Tech Andrew, and today I would like to talk with you about top 3 things where the AI outperformed its creator. Currently there is a hype around artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science. We all are hearing about some robots which are coming to take our jobs but not all of us do really know what are the current capabilities of the AI. So today I've collected 3 things that I think are very interesting, where the AI is actually doing better than us. So if you are working on one of those interests, you better watch out. If not, you are quite safe now.
So it's number one, is it?
So number 1 is lip reading. I don't know about you, but personally I was always fascinated, like in my childhood, about those Hollywood movies where spies were just through camera reading lips and understanding everything the person is saying. I was even trying to learn it myself, and luckily learning lip reading might not be longer necessary, as back in 2016 the group of researchers created a machine learning model called LipNet, which actually is 50% better than most of the human experts in lip reading for English. So despite all of the mysteries, typical human expert can read up to 30% of what the person is saying by lips for English, and the percent is much lower for other languages. So with this LipNet model, researchers were able to get 47% of what people are saying. And I think that's fascinating. So how they reached that? So to train such a model, they took hundreds and hundreds of hours of BBC video footages.
Hundreds and thousands.
And they created subtitles for them automatically, or some of them were created manually, but all along they got thousands of hours of videos and thousands of hours of subtitles for them. And then they start with detecting the face and then cropping out the mouse area of the face, just basically your lips. And with those, they were feeding the neural network with the movements of lips along with the sequence of words. So eventually, neural network learned to identify that these 10 movements of lips are actually corresponding to the word model, and those other 10 movements of lips are corresponding to the word hello. And then the second step, they've learned to combine those words together into sentences. So I think that will be soon deployed in many of the conferencing apps, or I think we will see other fascinating applications. For example, sometimes I'm getting people joined for the conference from Starbucks, and I mean, no noise cancellation sometimes could help. So sometimes I wish that there is this LipNet in Skype when it just read my counterpart lips and write me as subtitles what he's saying without me hearing all of the noises of Starbucks. So who knows, maybe that will be here in the near future. Let's see. And with that said, I'm going to identifying people by gait patterns. So I would be surprised if someone is still surprised by facial recognitions. I mean, even a simple iPhone could identify you by face with huge accuracy. And and all over the world, we have facial recognition systems deployed along with CCTV cameras. And many of us think that as long as our face is not visible, we are safe from those. Though it might no longer be the case, because as back in 2018, there were a huge research on identifying people by how they are walking, in other words, by their gait patterns. So how is that done? Actually, way before that, there was a long study on pose estimation, and there is a huge area of research on pose estimation. Pose estimation is basically understanding what is the position of human body in 3D or in 2D space. It doesn't matter. So the human body is represented by the virtual skeleton, which is corresponding to most of the important joints. For example, as you can see on the image, you could have one of the key points. Those joints are called key points. You can have them on hands, on shoulders, For example, for facial recognition, those techniques are used as well. Then we are using the corners of our lips, the corners of our eyes, and how they are moving. So there are a lot of models and techniques which are allowing you, just by a simple image or from the video, to understand how the human body is actually moving, even if we are very fashionable and wearing some oversize. I think it doesn't help, so we still will be identified. And this positions of those key points are quite unique, though because of closing or because of the errors of the systems, you still cannot distinguish two people ideally just by position of their key points. But eventually, when you start walking, your key points start moving with you, and this way how they are moving is very unique for each of us. So how the distances are changing, or how are you moving your hands and shoulders, and these patterns are very easily learnable. And with the recent techniques, you could identify the person was actually 95% accuracy. And some of the companies started to replace their just facial recognition systems with the systems that are supporting both gait patterns and facial recognition. So if you are moving to the door, which was previously recognizing you by face, and was to the sensor, which was previously recognizing you by face and opening the door, the sensors might start scanning you way ahead while you are walking, and then combine this result with facial recognition, and then and improve the quality of recognition. When I look like as I took those applications from the spy movie, and then when I'm going to name you the third one, you will be sure that it's from spy movie, because the third one is actually
Finally.
so number 3 in my list is definitely from a spy movie as well. And this is about identifying art forgeries. So art forgeries are a very big problem for the museums, as identifying a forgery is a very costly and long process. Usually, if it's a worthy masterpiece, it might be taken for the lab for 3 or so months. Then scientists are running radiology analysis, they are running chemical analysis, they are inviting experts to identify whether the strokes are done by the same master or not. And this is very costly and very big pain for the museums and for the private collections, and especially for the countries which are selling the art. So a group of researchers decided to address this issue, and they were trying to train the AI which would identify whether the pictures were done by the same artist or by the different one. So how they've done this? Actually, the main thing they were using were stroke patterns. So the way how we are holding the pencil is very different for each of us, and the way how we are drawing is very different as well. That's why the pictures are quite unique in terms of strokes of which they are made. But it's very hard to see for the human expert on the complete picture. But it's much easier for the AI, as it could hold thousands of details, of very small details in memory. And actually the network was taught on those just strokes from the images. So and then only from those few strokes, it were able to identify whether that's the original and forgery. And they got a stunning result. So they were able to identify correctly and immediately in less than a second, the 8 out of 10 forgery. Actually, this AI could be used, and actually is used, as the first line of defense. And it's used to prioritize which masterpieces should be examined first, and which could be just, and for which the decision could be just made by a human expert, because there is the digital twin AI backing us in the decision. Those are my top 3 things where I outperformed its creators. And I think you might have some different things you've heard of done that you think are better. So it would be great if you could share them in comments, and maybe next time I will try to do a video about some of them. And also, for this video it might look like the AI is capable of everything now, but it's actually not the truth. There are a lot of things that the AI is totally incapable of, and you might know some of them, and I have an idea of my top 3, but it's a great chance for you to share some of the things that you think AI cannot do at all, and definitely cannot outperform us at, and maybe I will include them in the list and in the next video. In the meanwhile, if you like this video, please share the video, please subscribe, and just use this ring so you know when the next video come, and I will try to do the video every week, and I will try to get even more fascinating stuff from the world of AI and advanced technology. See you next time.